Aloha, I'm Eileen Lacerte with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Island Lifestyle, and I'm at the Islands at Mauna Lani at the Mauna Lani Resort on the Big Island of Hawaii. The Islands of Mauna Lani were built in 1991. They were built at the time when the Japanese owned the Mauna Lani Resort, and they were built by Pan Pacific. And Pan Pacific is better known for building high-rise buildings, churches, schools, hospitals. So basically what I'm saying, they were a commercial builder. And that's going to be important when I tell you more about the property. There are 46 townhouses here on 22 acres, surrounded by the Mauna Lani Golf Course and Fitness Center. The townhouses are 2 and 3 bedroom, ranging from 2156 square feet to 2700 square feet, which are large units, especially when you think about when these were planned. The plans were made for them in the late 1980s. They started building in 1991. So for the time, they were quite large buildings. And now I'm going to tell you the history of this project. So getting into the history of this project, I wanted to show you this book. This was published, I don't know, probably right around 1990. And at the time, these books were given to prospective buyers. There were conceptual drawings in here of the islands with the water all the way around it, as well as floor plans and so on. But it's fun to look at the original conception drawings. This is actually how the islands was built, with water all around it. There were over 4 acres, I believe, with water around the whole project. Now this was built during the Japanese financial boom. Japanese citizens were coming over here literally with suitcases full of cash and buying property. That wouldn't happen today. I'm talking about the cash part. The resort, I think, was going to capitalize on that. The townhouses were superior construction, and the units are not what you would expect of a residential project. This is truly built like a hotel. It's more commercial quality. It goes way beyond anything you would find in a residential area. Now remember, this was the 1990s, and the townhouses at that time were being offered for $1.275 million up to $1.75 million. That long ago. But the real killer was that the maintenance fees back then were $1,100 a month. And that was because it cost $30,000 a month just to move the water around these buildings and maintain the water flowing. Okay, needless to say, the project didn't fly. First of all, the Japanese bubble burst. All kinds of things happened to the economy, and this project didn't fly. In 1996, the resort sold off this project. The years that it sat unsold, they rented them out to vacation renters to offset their maintenance costs. But in 1996, they sold the project off to Haas and Haney out of San Francisco. Now, Haas and Haney, they were established in 1898, and they had a love affair with the Big Island going back many years. In fact, they partnered with Lawrence Rockefeller to build the Mauna Kea Beach Hotel. So that's how long ago they were involved in Hawaii. Now, Paul Fay from Haas and Haney had some great ideas for this project, how to make it saleable. First of all, he bought it from the resort for a huge discount. I mean huge. I won't go into the dollars, but it was huge. But he had to make it so that the project was feasible for homeowners. And one was the price, of course. The other was that maintenance fee. So the first thing he did was drained the water feature. That's where all the expense was going. And I can remember when I was first hired to market this project back then, I was in a sales team with Rick Rocker and Tom Labrada, and the three of us took on selling this project. But when I first arrived on the project, the water was still here around the buildings, and I thought, oh, what a shame, that this water has to go. And that thought lasted for about 10 minutes because I was out on one of the lanais and the water came up to the lanais. The stagnant water along the lanais was mosquito heaven. I kid you not, you couldn't go out on those lanais and enjoy them because you were eaten alive with that stagnant water. So I then was all in for getting rid of that water. They brought in approximately 20,000 cubic yards of soil to fill in the water where they drained the water out of. When we took over the project, the units were gone through thoroughly and inspected, and there was a team of contractors that came through and fixed anything that they saw needed to be done. These are so well built that there really wasn't, it was more lipstick on the project. You could not build these units today for what they're selling for, nor could you back in the 90s. When I say that the interior doors are solid core, I mean solid core. They're so heavy that there has to be a stainless steel arm at the top to carry the weight of the door. And that's on every door. The bathroom door, the linen closet, the pantry, all the way through the whole unit. All the appliances were high-end. Even back then, it was all sub-zero. And one of the quality things that really stuck out to me when I sold these units was the louver sliding doors. I have yet to see those in any construction, and I sell homes for tens of millions of dollars. I have still not to this day seen the mechanisms of the sliding louver doors that they have in these units. Normally, there's a track on the floor that the bottom of the doors run on, and it hurts your bare feet. These have no tracks by the sheer way that they're made. Today, the islands at Mauna Lani are as solid as ever. And when people buy them and update them from the 1990s, there isn't anything structural they do. They paint the walls, they may refinish the hardwood floors, but maybe replace some of the appliances and the countertops. But other than that, these again are solid units. So the upgrades are more cosmetic than anything else. The pool and spa area have been refurbished recently, and additionally, they have covered the parking stalls with solar panels to heat the pool and spa, which was a brilliant idea. The cars can be parked in the shade now, and the solar panels can heat the pool. If you're interested in seeing one of these beautiful units, and by the way, they are fabulous vacation rentals if you have any interest in renting when you're not here. If you have any interest in seeing one, of course, you know who to contact. That'd be me. And if you got any value from this session, please hit the like button. And if you would like further information on Big Island real estate, be sure to join my ohana, which means family, and hit the subscribe button. Aloha from Eileen.